In this video, we are going to look at some transversals and parallel lines and look at some relationships. So let's begin. So for these examples, they want us to name the relationship. Is it a vertical angle, alternate interior, corresponding, or alternate exterior? So what I'm going to start off with is by highlighting the parallel lines and the transversals. So for one, A and B are the parallel lines. Sorry, that's not line A and B. These are the parallel lines. And they want us to know what's the relationship between A and B. Well, here's the transversal. Here's the one that's relevant to us. This is also a transversal, but it's not one that we really care about. So if you remember, this is the interior, and this would be the exterior. So that's going to be some kind of, this whole area is the exterior, right up there and right up there. So these are exterior, and they're going to be alternate exterior because one is on this side of the line, the left side of the line, one is like on the right side of this red transversal line. So they're on opposite sides of that transversal. So those are alternate exterior angles. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Here's my transversal, A and B. A is, they're on the interior, opposite sides, so those are alternate interior angles. Let's look at this one. This one's a little bit weirder. So here is my, here's my transversal. Here's the transversal that is relevant to me. And let's take a look at the parallel lines. Here's one, here's the other. So A is right there, B is right there. They're on the same side, but they're not like both on the inside, they're not both on the outside. If you want to think of it, there are corresponding angles because this is like top left corner, this is the top right corner, this is also on the top right corner. So A and B are both on the top right corner if you want to think of this third and fourth corner down there. So these are corresponding angles. I'm just going to write corresponding angles. Finally, number 4, let's highlight my parallel lines right here. And then let's highlight my transversal right over there. And let's see. They look like they're the inside. They're on the interior and they're on opposite sides of this transversal. They are alternate interior angles. Number 5. There are no pairs of parallel lines, so that means none of these are transversals. You've got this angle and this angle opposite sides of each other. These are vertical angles. Vertical angles. All right. Now, if we remember, alternate interior angles are congruent. Let's see, what else is congruent? Alternate exterior angles are also congruent. Vertical angles are congruent. And corresponding angles are congruent. If you remember that, and then we have also straight angles, which equal our straight angles, which equal 180. Basically every other angle pair. But yeah, if we remember those, because that's going to help us set this up. So if we take a look at this line, here's my transversal. The other two are parallel lines. So look at 77. If that's 77, what's that? Well, you can eye it, and you could see that they are the same angles. So B equals 77 degrees because they are alternate interior angles. Let's look at 7. Oh, B is also 57 degrees. Why? Because they're alternate interior. Because they are vertical angles. In this case, we have 94 over here. That they are on the exterior, on opposite sides of this transversal. So here's my transversal. They're on opposite sides. So B is also 94. And that is because they are alternate exterior angles. And finally, this one is kind of a crazier looking one. Here's my transversal. We have 146 and we have B. They're both on the inside, right? Interior. And they're on opposite sides of my transversal. That means B is also 146 degrees because they are alternate interior angles. All right, let's do this. Find the value of x. Here's my my transversal right there. Let's take a look. We have 126 and 2x. What is the relationship between those two? Well, they're not both inside. They're not both outside. They are on the bottom right corners. They are corresponding angles. So they are corresponding angles. So if we set up the equation, we know that 2x equals 126. In this case, we should say b equals 94, and b equals 57, b equals 1. So 2x equals 126. So how do I solve this? How do I solve for x? Well, divide by 2. That cancels. X equals 63. So it's not 63 degrees. X is 63 because the value of x is, you know, half of 126. So x is 63. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Our transversal runs down like that. We have this angle right here and this angle. They are on the exterior. Are they on opposite sides of our transversal? They are. So they are alternate exterior angles, which are congruent. So we will write 2x plus 1 is equal to 145. Let's solve this equation now. Subtract 1 from both sides. That equals, you know, that cancels out. We have 144. Divide by 2 now, which cancels, and x equals 12. Whoops, not 12. It equals 72. So x is 72. We're not saying it's 72 degrees. We're saying x is 72. If we figured out what degrees this is 145 degrees, because that's why we wrote 2x plus 1 equals 145. We just need to figure out what the mystery number is. All right, our transversal is right here. We have two angles on the inside, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. They are alternate interior, which means they're equal or congruent. So 3x plus 1 is equal to 85. Now we solve this. Subtract 1 from both sides. 3x is going to equal 84. And now we divide by 3. 84 divided by 3. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Let's see, 84 divided by 3. That is 28. So x equals 28. Let's look at the next one. Our transversal runs right here. What kind of angles are those? Those are corresponding angles, which are equal. So 5x plus 2 is equal to 47. Subtract 2 from both sides. You end up with 5x equaling 45. Divide by 5 now, which cancels out. X equals 9. All right, 4 more problems. Here's our transversal. We've got these two, which are on the exterior, and they're on opposite sides, so they are alternate exterior angles, which means they are congruent. 2x equals 140. Divide by 2, x equals 70. All right, not two lines in a parallel lines in a transversal, but we do have vertical angles, which are congruent, so they are vertical, which are congruent. So 6x is going to be equal to 84. Divide by 6, divide by 6. I don't know what that is off the top of my head either. 84 divided by 6 is 14. All right, this is a little bit more complicated. Here's a transversal and my two parallel lines right here and right here. What's the relationship between those two? Well, one's on the inside, one's on the outside, so it's not alternate interior or alternate exterior. They both occupy the top right corner of their respective things, so they are corresponding angles. And corresponding angles are congruent or equal, so we know that 4x is going to be equal to 88. So now we divide by 4. I do know what this is off the top of my head. It is 22. Finally, we've got our parallel line right there. And we have our transversal. So we know that this one and that one, they're both on the exterior, they're on the outsides, and they're on opposite sides of my transversal, so they are alternate exterior angles, and we know that they're congruent, which means 2x plus 1 is the same as or equal to 105. Time to subtract from both sides. 2x is going to equal 104, I believe. If we divide by 2x equals 54? 52. X equals 52. So that is it. Go ahead and try some other problems on your own. Good luck.